So, how did this Desti bride plan her destination wedding in Playa Mujeres, Mexico? Y'all already know. That's what we're talking about today. Let's go. Hey, Desties and bride friends. We're back. Thank you. Welcome to the Desti Guide to Destination Weddings. I appreciate you guys being patient with this season. It is here. You're watching. You're here with me, which means that you are excited and ready for season 3 to be back. I have an amazing interview. You guys, I have the best interview to start this season off with. You know I love you all. I love all of my Desti brides. And this one is Desti Aleah. So you'll hear me go back and forth between Aleah and the Leah B, because Miss Leah B also has a blog. She has a beautiful blog, you guys. The link will be in her show notes and in the description below. You'll just click that link and you can get to it. But I love her. Clearly I love her, but I love you all. Let me just stop with this, okay? It's a great interview. She's a former Desti bride. Well, she loved the show. She watched it and listened to it as she was planning her own wedding. She got married and now she's here to share and pay it forward to you guys. And she shares so much. So, I'm not going to hold you too long. You guys know what I love to do. And then I get really excited when I press that record button and I just be going and going and going. So, details. So, Terrence and Aleah were married at the Dreams Playa Mujeres Resort in Playa Mujeres, Mexico. I love saying Playa Mujeres. Playa Mujeres, Mexico. Their budget was about $30,000, and there's a funny story about, I mean, it's all funny stories, and there's a funny story about where it started and how it got to where it was, and I just love this couple. I just love them so very much. So you're gonna enjoy it. And she talks about the full experience. You know the drill, what worked, what didn't work, but we actually dug into some details. We got into timeline, we got into budgeting, we got into some relationship stuff. Like, it was really good. And you guys, I know you're gonna be laughing along with us. It's just a great interview. And the photos, you guys, it's amazing. The video is just, I just love it. I'm so excited. And I don't even know. Let me just, you ever just get really excited and just don't know what to do with yourself? That's where I am right now. That's where I am, and that's where I need you to be. So I need you to get excited with me. And if you're excited and happy to have the Desti Guide to Destination Weddings back, go ahead and like this video. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ding that bell, because we are back every week with a new interview. Will it be a bride? Will it be a pro? You won't know unless you click that button. And as usual, all details are waiting for you in Destiland. The link is in the description below. If you ever have any questions, drop those in the comments. And while you're down there, if you're brand new, well, welcome. You have plenty of interviews to catch up on. But listen, this is the perfect one for you to start with. And then you've got plenty of time to catch up on the others. But go ahead and give me that hashtag I'm a Desti, and let me know when you're getting married and where you're getting married. I love to get to know you all and see how I can help you. The more I know about you, the more I can bring on the show and bring more value and make sure that everything is okay. And Leah, thank you so very much for sharing your journey. The energy that you gave us, the information that you gave us, I know that it's going to be so very valuable, and I can't wait to get the feedback from everybody talking about how awesome and amazing you are, because you really are. But thank you. I just want to take a moment to thank you and Terrence for sharing everything that you guys shared. You guys, it's amazing. Leah shared so much that in her show notes, they are the most detailed that I've ever had, and I'm so glad to actually have those for you guys. So you guys know how I can do with the show notes, so I had to share every single bit because I've never just had this level of transparency. So she went in and it's all there. It's all waiting for you at Destiland. That's www.desti.land. The link is in the description below. And yeah, I will see you you next week. And until next time, as usual, I'm wishing you all the best week of your life and reminding you to have the time of your life, planning the best days of your life. Bye, guys. Okay. So, hi, Leah.
Hello.
Welcome.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so glad to have you here too. It's been a long time coming, and it's happening. So we've got to do this. Let's just get into this. So, for starters, can you tell everyone, introduce yourself? When was your wedding?
Yes.
Where was your wedding? All of that good stuff.
Okay, hello. My name is Aleah Jordan. That's my married name. We got married November 10th of 2019, so we just missed the cutoff in Playa Mujeres, Mexico, and it was a dream beyond dreams. It was perfect. Perfect. That's me. Hello.
Yes. How many guests?
We had 104 guests.
Woo!
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
And where do you live?
I live right outside of Atlanta. We've been here for about 8 years, and we actually, crazy, closed on a house at the end of September of last year. So we were secretly moving while we were getting married because we didn't want it to overshadow the wedding. So only our parents knew.
So wait a minute. So you bought a house while planning your wedding?
We were looking, it was new construction, and all the pieces just fell in place very quickly. And it was like, do it now. And I was like, this is crazy. And we did it, and it worked, and we're in our beautiful home, and I'm really happy. And we shared it with everyone like Thanksgiving, and they was like, wait, what? And I was like, I didn't want you to ask me about house stuff when I was trying to get ready for my wedding. I put too much work in it to have a house overshadow my wedding.
Yes, keep it focused, okay? It's the wedding, and then we will deal with that later. Yes.
And that's what we did, but it was a little stressful.
Just a tad bit. So we will get into all of that. And actually, your now husband, his name is Terrence.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I always love to start with the proposal story. And how did you guys meet? So can you?
Okay.
Everybody loves the love story. So.
Yes, it's a love story. It got a little Lifetime movie crazy in there. I'm gonna let you guys in on that. But no, we met in Minneapolis. I cut him in line at the club. Literally crawled under the robe. I'm like, can I stand here? He was like, yes. Bought me a drink when we went inside, but then I left. It was some drama with my girls. He calls me and pretends like he doesn't know me. Like, oh, I heard there were some new stores in town. Do you need anything? Introducing himself. But he knew me. He got my number from somebody else. He was like, I didn't want to be a creeper. So that was back in 2012. He got into his PhD program in Georgia and was like, look, don't want to do long distance. I'm like, I've always wanted to live in Atlanta. My mom was like, you following that man, and that's okay. So we moved here, long PhD program, and that's where the Lifetime movie crazy comes in. I was so ready to just I'm planning all my friends' engagements. I'm 27 dresses, all these weddings I'm in. I'm like, when am I getting my ring? I'm about to kill this man.
How much time has passed at this point?
Years. 2012, okay. I got my ring in 2018.
Okay.
Once he graduated, I thought, I planned this great graduation. Baby getting a ring. No, I did not get a ring that December. So I was over it. But he was like, I needed everything to be perfect. You deserved my best. And so I wanted to give you my best. And it was the wake up every day hoping this is the day. So I'm trying to be cute every day. I'm trying to be nice every day. And then I was just over it. I go home, June of 2018. My mom's like, we're going to have a cookout. Your family hasn't seen you. Home is Indiana. Your family hasn't seen you. I'm like, oh, this is it. I get really cute. And then Terrence calls me like, babe, I'm sick. I think I'm about to go to urgent care. I was like, you sick? Oh, you're not coming. Oh, well, babe, feel better. And he's texting me like, I'm watching The Wire. He's texting me all day about what's happening with The Wire, how he's feeling. And then my cousin's like, I got $100 on a cornhole game because I didn't want to go outside. It was hot. It was 900 degrees. We're playing cornhole, and everybody starts pulling out their phone, and I'm like, it's game point. This ain't that deep. What's happening? So I'm looking around. Everybody has their phones out now. And it's like, what's going on? Out runs my nephew with a ring box. He comes up to me. He's like, TT, this is for you. He was maybe 3 at the time. Open the box. It's empty. So I'm like, little boy, don't play with me. I'm fragile. You can't play with me like this. And he was just like, I don't know, TT. I look up. I see my baby walking out of the house, like all dressed, looking cute. I've been sweating. I don't have on any more makeup, but whatever. Now I realize what's happening. I'm crying. Here he comes, and he's like, babe, you got to turn around so I can do this. He does his speech. I get down on my knees with him, and everybody's like, you're not supposed to get on your... I was like, I need to hear this.
Yes,
I've been waiting all these years. I don't want to miss a word. So I'm on my knees with him. He's talking, and I'm like, yes, yes, yes. My mom's like, are you going to let him put on the ring? I'm like, oh, can I see the ring? Hadn't even looked at the ring. Didn't care about the ring. Like, he wants to spend the rest of his life with me. Look up, like, his whole family was there. He had flew in my cousin and his best friend from Atlanta. It was beautiful. All my family, just how I would want it. It was amazing. It was perfect.
Oh my goodness, that is entirely you are too much. This is y'all. This is about to be a good interview. Okay,
good time. It was good. It was good.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. So, how old are you now?
I'm 32. August 32.
Okay. Make me feel old. Okay. And how old is Terrence? Are y'all the same age?
Terrence is 35.
Okay.
Yes, 35.
Awesome. You are so funny. So, okay. Yes. So he proposed. Did you, now because you already were kind of in the space of, I'm ready to get married, we're going to do this. Were you planning in the background? Like, were you already knowing what you wanted to do?
Always planning in the background. Always. He years ago mentioned a destination wedding, and I was like, never. My family has to be there. Like, we do family serious. Like, my mom has 7 brothers and sisters. They're all there. All their kids are like, we do everything together. It's this big deal. I'm like, I couldn't imagine. As you get older and you start realizing things like budgets, and you start being in weddings, and you realize how little time you get to spend with the bride and groom, I'm like, maybe I am a little more open to a destination wedding. So a couple years, maybe a year before, he had told me and my mom, like, y'all can start looking at stuff, because she knew I was about to. So my mom and I started looking and pricing. Having a wedding at home was just crazy expensive. When I say for the number of people we were looking at and the way we wanted to do it, we were probably looking at $50K. That was not happening.
Okay.
So I started looking at destination stuff. I had a few things in mind. And so when this time came, he's like, go on and send me the spreadsheet. I know you got it. And I was like, nah, I don't have the spreadsheet done. He's so spoiled. I do everything. Like, when we move, when we buy anything, I have my spreadsheet, our rankings, like what all the reviews, what matters. So he's like, I know you've done one for a destination location. Like, send me the spreadsheet. We'll talk. So that's how we kind of got into it. I'm going to take this earring off.
Okay.
So yeah, so we had only done a teeny bit of planning, not too much prior to getting the ring.
Okay. So did you, so with mom, so he was already down for destination. You came around a destination, and mom was helping too, of course. So when you said, like, how many guests would have been at home if you would have had your wedding at home?
Probably a little over 3.
Ooh. 100, of course.
Yeah. Yep. A little over 300.
Okay,
yeah.
So you had a little less than half of what would have been. Now, when you brought him the spreadsheet, and did you know where? Like, had you already decided on Playa Mujeres?
No. So originally he was against Dominican Republic because we were just in a wedding the year before there. So he didn't want to do DR, which I was fine with. He didn't want to do Jamaica because he was like, everybody does Jamaica. We can't do Jamaica. I'm like, we ain't been to Jamaica, but okay. And he was like, Mexico feels like going to Vegas. It's not real. And I was like, all right. So, mind you, he don't know nothing about nothing. I look up everything and I bring him the numbers and I'm like, well, you just kind of cut out all of our inclusive resorts. So you're going to spend money in the Bahamas, Turks, whatever. And once I showed him those numbers, he was like, oh, well, maybe I'm open to a few other things. So once I showed him some beautiful resorts in Mexico, it was like, oh, that's beautiful. We can act, that's us. And I was like, it can very much be us. And so then he was like, all right. And then that's when we got serious. Mexico really started making its way to the top of our list that way.
Love it. And your resort was?
Yes, Dreams Playa Mujeres. I started with how many resorts do we have? Probably like 6 or 7. I was very clear on what I wanted the space to look like. I wanted it to be a little more upscale. I wanted it to be family friendly, but I did want our guests to have options. Dreams is connected to Secrets, which is adults only, and you can go between the two as long as you're staying at either. So I wanted our adult guests to feel like they had a way, but my nephews, since the ring, were like, we going to Mexico, we going to TC wedding. And I'm like, because I had always said no kids. Like, I'm not going to be responsible because I'm scrubbing the ground in my dress and your kids are like, Mama, what she do? I don't want that. I don't want your kids running around whipping and nay-naying, and I don't want it. But my nephews were so excited. I was like, oh, my babies have to be there. We'll figure this out. So Dreams was fairly new at the time, and it was beautiful. And it wasn't too big. I didn't want us to be too spread out and like, oh, I'll meet you for dinner, and it's a 10-minute walk. Because we had done that, and I did enjoy that. So that's how we got to Dreams.
Okay. And so it wasn't adult only. Was it just children? Like just your family, or was everybody allowed to bring children? How did you decide on that?
So I thought a lot of my friends do have kids. They were like, this is like grown up time. We're about to vacate we leaving the kids at home. And so the majority of our friends were like, we're leaving the kids at home. And so I made it very clear to our guests that my reception was going to be adults only. So my family's there. They're bringing their kids. All the cousins are going to be in a room, and there's a little situation. But if you're wanting anything more than that, here's the information for nanny services, but you're on your own. There will not be any kids at my reception. So a lot of people opted out of bringing their kids. There were 7. We had 7 kids. 7 kids. So his niece, my 2 nephews, and then a couple of my cousins that were a little older.
Okay. You had it all together, all for real.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that idea. Like, you can have the kids, but no kids at the reception. I haven't seen that before, and that makes so much sense. Did you, like, tell people that, or was that on your wedding website?
It was on the wedding website. The people that we were closest with, like the bridal party and such, I made sure that they knew, called them up, like, hey, your kids are welcome. If you want to make it a family vacation, but, like, my kids, me and my boys, the nephews, are going to be with cousins. We're not doing anything special. I don't have any special activities planned for them, but they are more than welcome. But, like, this is my vision. My vision doesn't have kids dancing around. And they were all like, oh, no, we coming to kick it. We're leaving the kids at home. So it worked out perfect. There was no pushback. Sorry, nobody was like, oh, no kids. Because it's a vacation. If you're going on vacation, it's a family vacation. I understand that. But that doesn't mean I have to compromise my vision. So they were allowed in everything else, though. And there was no problem.
I love that. And did you decide to do, like, how did your wedding week go? Or wedding weekend go?
Luckily, my amazing husband decided we needed to go down early. And we did with the house. I'm really glad we did that. So we went like a week early and went to a different resort in Cancun before we moved over to Dreams. He was like, if you're at Dreams, you're going to be in wedding mode and you're not going to relax. So we went to a different resort, and Hyatt Ziva, that's where we went, in Cancun, which was super nice. Food was amazing. But we went there first and relaxed, and I did not know how much I needed that. Oh, once I stepped onto that Dreams resort, I was just like, we here. There is nothing I can do. I can't, like, if it's done, it's done. If it's not, it's not. We're going to get married and we're going to have a good time. It helps me relax because my press out was raggedy by the time I got there. So I just had fun. I left looking like, ooh, yes. I stepped in Cancun and it was like, whoosh. And I was just like, All right, where's the drinks? Bring me the dog, Julio. I can't do nothing about this. And it was what I needed. It got me to relax. So that happened. Let's see. Wednesday, we got to the resort. Thursday, we met with our wedding planner, walked through everything. Wednesday walked Terrence through everything because he did not go on the site visit. He started a new job that month, so it was me and my mom when we went to do the site visit. So he hadn't seen anything. It was all videos. Walked him through, and he was just like, good job, baby. Like, this is us. Like, you did a really good job. So Thursday was like parents and a couple other guests. We had a few that came early, like the best man and a couple of the bridal party, but most people came on Thursday. So we started the festivities on Friday, which was the welcome party. Actually, it was split. 30% came on Thursday. Everybody else came on Friday. Friday was our welcome party. We didn't have this included. So they have this rooftop terrace that's overlooking. It has a bar connected. We just went in, tipped the bartenders before, and we passed out our welcome bags there. Just made it really, really informal. Like, hey, stop up, say hi, get to know the faces of, the party so that you kind of know who's here for us and who's not. And so that was super fun. And then Saturday, we had our rehearsal dinner on the beach. And so that was included, where we were able to do the theme night. We had a taco bar. It was really, really, really nice with the lights and everything. Y'all hear me refer to him as Groomzilla because he was a lot. He decided the night before he wanted light up letters on the beach, which they ended up being beautiful. I'm really glad we did it. But he wanted Jordan lit up on the beach. So I'm on the phone with the wedding planner the night before, like, girl, can you please make this happen? She was like, what color? Not a problem. Whatever you want, which I know now. They don't care about you spending your money. They're going to make it happen.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So it was a couple things we did that was like, he would see something and be like, I want that. I need that. And I'm like, budget.
He said, we here now, so let's do this.
What we talking? Like, we should have the best time we can have. So we did that. Chapo night was beautiful. We brought our own speaker. And so that included dinner and a bar is what was included in the package. So it was their biggest package, the ultimate package that had, you could either use that rehearsal dinner, cocktail hour, could be cocktail hour or a welcome party, ceremony, and your reception was all included in this package. And so we did the rehearsal dinner, which meant everybody was there. All 104 of our guests came to that. So the tables were set up. It was beautiful. I did not know until after. My centerpieces never made it on the table. Like, I had centerpieces made for rehearsal dinner, never made it on the table. It was still so beautiful. I didn't even realize it until probably like an hour in. I'm like, these tables are kind of bare. What's happening? But it was like nobody noticed, nobody cared. And I think that was another thing, that it was just like taking another notch of the like, relax. It's beautiful. People are in Mexico. They don't care about the details like you care about the details.
Did you invite everybody?
Yes. So it was all 104 guests at the rehearsal dinner, which was included in that package. Because my thing was, that was the biggest reason I wanted a destination wedding. You spend all this money, rental car, hotel, to be with these people for 5 minutes. I wanted us to be able to really spend time with our guests. So that's why we're at the pool all day hanging out. I didn't do a ton of scheduled activities because I still wanted people to feel like it was their, vacation. Mm-hmm. But each evening we had to come together. So all 104 guests were there. We danced, we laughed, we took shots. They were like, we don't have 100 shot glasses. I'm like, give me what you got. We were shotting out of like beer mugs and champagne flutes. And I'm like, Daddy was taking shots. It was great. And Sunday was the wedding. So that was how the week went. Monday, we just did it was a lot of like, that was when we started to see people off. Monday, Tuesday, we stayed until later on that week.
Okay. Before we get into the wedding, because
that's why
there. Your pause is beautiful.
I know how you do.
You clearly listen to the show, so I love this. I
am a stan, actually. It's just
oh, well, thank you. I'm so glad. I'm happy to have been able to help, and now you're paying it forward. So that's what this is all about. So, all right. So, room blocks. You had 104 guests.
Yes.
How did you handle that?
The room block was more stressful than I think anything else than picking a resort. The room block and then paying that $700 deposit felt like the most pressure because it was real. It was happening. It's like, girl, you've been planning for this your whole life. Like, it's go time. Man up. So the room block was really hard because it's like you're almost counting people's coins. You have to guess like who's going to want to stunt, who's not going to want to stunt. And that part was really, really hard. But get a travel agent. Hear me. Get a travel agent. You don't want those problems.
Say it again for the people in the back.
Get a travel agent.
Hear that, bride friends. Hear it.
She was amazing. And she was like, listen, I've seen this. I do this. You need to have more of the cheaper rooms than not. Like, everyone says one thing, and when it comes down to money, they do another. And so she really helped me think through. I had to, the hardest decision was that I want people staying on both sides. Initially, I was going to say, yes, you could stay on Secrets or the Dream side. But I was like, no, I want everyone together. They can go if they want to go, but I want us to all be together. So I only had the room block on the Dream side. I had different levels of each room, but of course for both the preferred club and then the standard rooms, I did the cheapest ones for both of those and then just a few more of the high level ones and made it clear like you can upgrade if you want. Here's what we're offering within our block. And we were, you know, in advance and planned, so we had room to make changes. And they have private pool rooms at the front, and that's where Terrence and I stayed, but I didn't let anyone else book there. And I made it clear no one could book there so that we had a little separation. Yeah. Especially since we weren't going to a different resort for our honeymoon. I wanted us to have some time where it felt like it was just us. And that was a really good way to do it. So we blocked and then had to keep adding because more people kept coming. We thought it would be closer to like 60 or 70. But it ended up going all the way up to 104.
So how many invitations did you send?
So the guest list post. So that one was interesting. We went through our guest list and I had him do his and I did mine. And I think that really helped take the stress out of it because it's not the whole, I have to prove to you how important this person is to me and why they have to be on the list. It's like, hey, you have till Friday to turn in your list. I have till Friday to turn in my list. If you don't think of them, they don't need to be on that list. Like, we're not doing that. So we made this big list and then we went through and decided we knew that there were our initial, I thought I had my numbers up. I apologize for that. But it was like 267 some people that we sent invitations to. We knew that 150, a good, maybe a little more, 175, were not going to be able to come. Either they told us they couldn't, they don't travel, they don't have a passport, they were pregnant. We knew that there was a big number that couldn't come. We still wanted to invite them so that they could attend like the couple shower and things of that nature. And then we went through and said, okay, with who's left, who do we think will actually attend? And so that number was only about maybe like 125. So when we landed at the 104, it actually worked out perfect. So that's kind of the approach that we took.
Cool. And you mentioned, and just so you guys know, you guys probably heard her just now. She said the guest post blog. So Leah's actually a blogger as well. She has a beautiful lifestyle blog. I will link to that in the description as well. But she has a section for talking about her wedding. So she talked about, well, it was a few things that I really, really loved. The standouts, the wedding guest list that you're talking about, and then shopping for your dress. Those are my two favorites. I mean, you have plenty, but those are my if I had to give a top 10 of them, I love them. So I will link to those, you guys, for you guys to be able to see them because she really, really went in on that. And I love that. So yes, so this is a good peek into it, but she really, really went into that. So I love that. Now, question, because I'm always saying don't invite what can't come. So you invited a lot of people and you knew a lot weren't going to make it. Why send them invitations just on your side?
That was my parents' request. They wanted to make sure that they knew that they were still welcome to come. And she didn't want them to feel like, oh, we're inviting you to the shower, but not to the wedding. Like, you're not good enough for that. So that was the only reason, because I was like, Mom, that's not how you do things. If they are not getting the invites to everything, you do not invite them to. And she was like, we'll put everybody on the initial list because I want to invite all these people to the shower. So I was like, all right, we know they're not coming. I'm not going to worry about it. And we did, and it worked out just fine.
Okay. And as far as the budget. You've mentioned the budget a few times. So how did you guys work that out? Paying and all of that good stuff, saving, all that.
So I'm a super planner, guys. I have a budget for everything. I budget every cent of our income. Like, I'm a spreadsheet girl. I'm the planner. That's why when he was like, "Where's the spreadsheet?" Everybody's like, "Where's the spreadsheet?" This is what I do. I am the planner. So I had gone through and I did a ton of research on wedding budgets and how they allocate funds and all that good stuff. And I did some guesstimates before I really started digging into things. So we had a number. We then, of course, talked to our parents. "Hi, is there anything that you guys would like to contribute? You know, have you always dreamed of paying for XYZ? We want to know what you make your dreams come true while we're making our dreams come true." So my mom was like, "Here's what we can do."
Help us help you.
Help us help you. But my parents did give us a nice chunk of change to help with the wedding and got some stuff in between. But when I say budget, this was all in. This was from literally save the dates, stamps, website. Everything is in this budget. So I budgeted everything and we went through, did it, and then we just kind of started going into our research and figuring out, is this attainable? Is this too much? We knew that we didn't want to be stressed about money. So we got engaged June of 2018. We got married November of 2019. So we gave ourselves enough time to save. So we split that up on a monthly basis. We put in, here's how much we need to save every month towards the wedding. You know, added in bonuses and things of that nature as a, you know, here's what we can do with this extra. Here's what our parents are thinking they can help with. But we were very clear, like, we don't need to bank on that. Don't put anything in this budget that we can't do, because anything can happen.
Yeah.
So we needed to know, like, if it comes down to it, we can pay for this. And that's how it went. So we saved. Save.
I love it. And because you guys lived together beforehand, had you already, like, do you guys have a joint account? Did you guys set that up for the wedding, or?
Yes, we do. So we talked about that. That was another, we were the ones, we had the tough conversations before marriage, which I think is really important. The money talks, the what if you can't have kids? Because I was like, oh, what, surrogacy? How do you want to do? Like, we had all those talks beforehand. And so the money talk was one big thing. And his whole thing was like, oh, my dad is my dad. And I'm like, am I supposed to say I do except for his dad? I want all of him but that little piece. Like, no, this is us. This is we. Yeah. So we had already had a joint account where since we were saving and paying down debt, every dollar goes in. Every dollar is accounted for. And so the joint account, it went from general savings or debt pay down to now it swaps over to this wedding savings. And that's where the money went to. And it was just every time there was extra, I would adjust the budget and we put it over there. So that's how we do it. It was a joint account, but all of our stuff is joint.
I love that. And that makes sense. We did pretty much the exact same thing. So our conversations, like, we have a monthly financial conversation where we just go over everything, the spreadsheets. I'm all into my Google Sheets and all of that. Right?
That's just like you're on the Google
Doc. So yeah. So I feel like that's the best way to do it, and to start having those conversations. But then planning your wedding is the best way for you guys to start working together and being a team. So.
And you learn how the other person really, like, deals with money and respects a budget. My husband thinks a budget is a suggestion. That is not a budget. Like, that is you just out here YOLO. And we will get to that when we get to his spending around this wedding. But yes, a budget I think is important. But you learn a lot about your partner when you're talking about trying to save up 10, 20, whatever, $1,000. Like, you get to see who each other, are, and I thought that was really, really good for us.
No, yeah, I love that. So what was the budget?
So the budget started out, and mind you guys, like, we made a conscious decision to downgrade our apartment. We were living in a nice place. We went to a 1-bedroom that was just not as nice at all. But we knew we wanted to get married. We knew we wanted to get into a house. We knew we wanted to pay down debt. So we were like, downsized to this 1-bedroom apartment. We let go of like 600 square feet. And it was like, whoo, I love you, sir. Cause whoa. But we did all that in anticipation of this. So the year before, that year leading up to it, our lease was up, I think August, September. That year leading up to the wedding, we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Okay.
And that was a big savings for us. And so the budget, my initial budget that I set, and I'm looking at the spreadsheet, guys, that's where my eyes are going. The initial budget that I set once I thought was realistic was around 20. Okay. Again, mind you, this has everything. Couple shower, thank you notes, band, site visit that we did the year before. Everything is in that list. It was 20. We ended up closer to 30 when it was all said and done.
I love that. And that makes sense. Yeah. We thought, we probably initially, well, I didn't really have much of an idea initially. And I feel like we thought it would be 30. And then it turned into 40 something. So yes. Yeah, that's about where it goes. But you have that space.
The wedding package. I thought I had done good research on the wedding package, and that is where literally a whole extra $10,000 came from the wedding package itself.
How so?
It was worth it. Because I thought, you're paying for your wedding, your reception, it's all inclusive. Like, no, guys, all inclusive resorts, you are paying for privacy. That's what you're paying for. Privacy, and you're paying for service. You're still paying for everything. So if you want to have something where they are serving just your guests, you want a special meal just for you, you want an open bar for you, you're paying for that. You're paying for all of that. So once we decided to make it an experience, that's when I went for the full-on wedding package. That was the 3-day thing. And that's where all of that came from, the added to the budget. Everything else was pretty spot on.
Ah, okay. So that makes sense. So when you initially saw it, they sent you that spreadsheet, that booklet, the brochure of this is what we have. And then once you opened it, once you really dug into it, it was like, oh, okay, I need to add this.
Exactly. Once you start adding things on and, get in how you want it. You're going to do this one time. That was one thing we did say we're going to get what we want, is where, because it could have just been that, but it would have been the reception on the beach. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been all that we had, which we wanted. So there's a way to do it for $5, but we didn't want to do it for $5. Yeah. And they don't tell you the free weddings is when you have 20 people. They leave that out on those booklets, guys. Like when people say they're so much cheaper, destination weddings are cheaper if you have 20 people. Yes.
You know what? Yeah. I need a replay on that one too. That one for the bride friends in the back.
Yes. Destination weddings are cheaper if you have 20 guests. That's it. Anything more than that, it's an upcharge for everything.
But you're in paradise. And
it's worth it.
Yeah, and in your case, it did so. And that's one of those things, that's one of those myths I'm always talking about, everyone's always talking about, because technically, like how you just said, it would have been $50,000 if you got married at home. But that's with way more guests. So just by the fact that you're having a destination wedding, your guest list went bloop. No.
Exactly.
Right? So that did make it cheaper, but if all of those people would have come, then you would have been dealing with that. So it's cheaper for a reason. And
it's cheaper for a reason.
It's cheaper, but
it's a trade-off to get it to be cheaper. You're trading off different things, and it just depends on what's important to you. Everybody was already getting on a plane, and the same, amount they would have paid to get to Elkhart, Indiana, they paid to get to Mexico.
Yeah. Did any family or friends push back?
No, and I thought they would. I had a couple aunts, but I was like, you've decided not to live life. They've never been on a plane. So they were just like, I can't believe you're making the decision. I'm like, I love you. I love you down. But guess what? You have all the things I want. No debt. Your house is paid off. You have all the things I want. I can't live the lifestyle I want and have the wedding I want if I do it here. So that was just one conversation. Nobody else pushed back. All of our friends were like, let's go. Yes, everybody was so excited. And everybody knew it was coming. So that's why they was like, when do I pay? I'm like, wait a minute, guys. We just decided. Don't send me no money yet.
So everybody was already saving up because they already knew how you
Because they already knew. And that's why it was very easy to do custom tucks and all that other kind of stuff because they know who we are. Nobody was surprised. Everybody was like, we ready. Let's go. So.
And you said custom tux, so I was already working my way there. You're just, yes, this is beautiful. So, let's talk about Terrence here. Let's talk about groomy, hubby.
Villa.
How helpful, what did he do as far as, I've actually, it's so interesting because from the show, it's always just been the Desti brides that I've interviewed. And it's going to kind of shift a little bit and do some other things. But I've received comments on the channel like, hey, you know, I'm not getting any help from my husband either. And, you know, and I'm like, well, no, they help, or they have their things sometimes. So let's give a shout out to hubby Terrence, and let's talk about the experience with him now.
Yes, let's talk about my hubby boo, my honey bun.
Okay.
So I know my man. When I set the budget, I had a nice chunk for his attire because I know him. He's like, oh, we can totally cut that. I don't need that much money. All I need is this. Fast forward, baby, So in terms of, I've had friends where their husbands or partners at the time didn't do anything. They didn't help. They wouldn't make a decision, and they absolutely hated that. And I thought that's what I wanted. But in retrospect, I wanted a blend because he told me all he cared about was the colors and the attire. That was not true. He cared about everything, everything. But he also didn't do any research. So he would send me things like, oh, I want this, this, and this, like these crazy flower arrangements and all of this. And I was like, I would send him back the prices, and he'd be like, oh, well, you go ahead and you got it. I'm like, exactly. Just like I had it, let me have it, because it was a lot of that. But when it would come down to like making the decisions, I would say, hey, here's where we are. And he had to sit with everything. And it drove me crazy. Let me sit with it. I want to know now, what are you every decision that he needed to sit with for a week and make his decision drove me crazy, but whatever. So then I started saying, here's his things, here's your things. We sat down. We each got to pick 3 things we really cared about.
Okay.
Outside of those 3 things, that's your trump card that you get to play 3 times, and that's it. You don't get to do that anymore. Like, so we both got to do that. His was attire for the guys, which I didn't care what they wore because he can dress. I was never worried about them. So he did that. He did the whole wedding website. So I helped with the content, but he found it, he built it, he managed it. The wedding website was his baby. He set up the engagement photos. And so that was all him, which was really nice. And DJ, those were his things. So I didn't have to worry about those things. It was out of my hands. He took it on. So that was great. That part was really, really good. So he helped with that. As I'm looking through, I mean, at the end of the day, anything I needed his help with, he was fine with. But he trusted me. He knows that I had done my research. He knows, like, he heard me listening to your podcast all the time. So he's like, she knows what she's doing. So it was good. It was good. But he was helpful when I needed him to. And there was times when I wanted to be like, just say you don't care like everybody else and we can move on. And so that was his involvement, but it was good. And he knew how to calm me down and it helped me keep things in perspective and like, girl, don't nobody care that it's 3 candles instead of 4. And I don't know what a votive is and clear versus frosted. Stop. And I was like, you're right. So he was really good at it. Maybe that's why I have him. He calms me.
He said he had to sit with it. What's his sign?
He's a Sagittarius.
Okay. What's your sign?
I'm a Leo.
Okay. Ooh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm asking. Yeah, because mine is a Virgo, and he does not make a decision immediately. He won't. Like, no matter what, you can't sell him on anything quickly.
Yeah.
He's going to have to take a moment to think about it, and he has no problem saying that. And for me, I always feel like a pressure to answer quickly, and I'm almost like talking through whatever to get to my answer. And he's always like, you don't have to answer that right now. You can think about that.
Right. You can take a minute. It's a good lesson. It's a good lesson.
Yeah. That man thing. I'll give that. I like that. So the tux. It's, first of all, I mean, you already know, but it's good. He did a good job on that.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
And y'all, it's a little ghetto. When I saw him, I was like, dang, you looking real good. I hadn't seen him at all. He wouldn't let me see the tux.
Oh, so it was like the gown. So it was, okay.
All I knew was that it was blue. And it was expensive as hell. That's all I knew. Y'all, he went tux shopping with the best man. They came home and were so excited. They had the best time. Babe, check this. I'm like, okay. He was like, I'm getting 2 tuxes. I'm doing a wardrobe change. And I was like, y'all, I had to go outside, call my cousin, because I was finna end it for both of their lives. Like, y'all done lost y'all mind. If I'm not doing a wardrobe change, why do you think you're doing a wardrobe change? What in your mind makes sense? When is the groom doing it's about me too. It's my wedding too. He loved that. Like, what about, and I was just like, it ain't about you. You're not changing. And then I was like, take a deep breath. Don't hurt them. They thought it was such a great idea. They was like, well, when you see it, you gonna get it. I don't get it. And 2 tuxes can't possibly be in your budget. Can't possibly. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. Y'all. Then that turned into, that tuxedo ended up being the groomsmen tuxedo. Suit supplied. They each got this nice tux. It only ended up being, maybe that was like $450-ish. So to rent one would have been so close to that, that when he went back and forth about what he wanted to do. And he had a few guys where he was like, I don't want to put that pressure on them. So he was like, here's the suit. And they all was like, what? We was waiting for a custom tux. Like, that's what about you are. And he was like, really? Oh, shoot. That's what he really wanted to do. So from then on, he didn't compromise on anything else. The guys was like, we've been waiting for this custom tux. We trying to get fitted. We got plans for this tux after your wedding. So that tux went to the groomsmen. His second choice that he found that day, he ended up wearing at the rehearsal dinner. So if you see pictures of that jacket, that tan, because I also was like, you ain't wearing no white? What is this? No. So that jacket he ended up wearing to the rehearsal dinner. Loved it. Cool. Whatever. One night, Thursday night, he came home. He poured me this big old glass of wine and was like, and I was like, oh, you don't even have to tell me because I already got the alert on my credit card. Like, what in the world happened? Let me tell y'all this. That tux cost more than my wedding dress, my wedding shoes, my earrings, my headpiece, my veil. He was just like, I mean, we're going to work this out. We're going to make it work. And I was just like, oh my gosh, which turned into a great conversation about money in a relationship. What threshold should we be having discussions first? Like, never should you swipe a credit card for anything that's over thousands of dollars without discussing it with me. What in the world? But yes, so that custom tux, I mean, the stitching in there, the date on the inside, got my name on the line and all this other kind of stuff. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous work of art. But when I went to Balani to meet that man, I was like, oh, it's you? Oh, you? He was like, I'm sorry. But yes, girl. Ooh. More than all of my everything. Shoot. More than all of my everything. All of it was that tux. But he loved it. He looked amazing. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's me. That's me.
Yeah, he did do that. So I'm so glad. Oh, I love that. And there'll be photos. And I feel like I'll probably end up throwing a few up while you're talking because I just love this right now because I just love him for this. Like,
he's like, we gonna figure it out. I'm gonna sell some J's. So, y'all, he sold like 3 pair. He's really into Jordans, and a lot of them have not been worn. So he sold like 3 pair of shoes. So then it was like, dang, y'all, Lay had him selling shoes and da da da. I didn't have him do anything, but he was able to offset most of the cost by selling J's. Online. So he thought that would help with the blow. I mean, it did. It was fine. What can I do? You spent it. It's your wedding too. I don't want you to feel away. But we had a really good conversation about money that I think has really, really helped in our marriage. So
yeah, I mean, it's all about learning lessons. And like I said, this is the best time for you to work together and just all of it. How do you deal with each other's feelings? How do you have these kind of conversations? All of the things. So I'm glad you guys were able to have that. And that conversation that you mentioned is really, it's a big conversation. When do you reach out? Like, I've seen things where people are like, oh, I don't want to ask for permission we're a partnership. And at some point, this is our money, no matter what. So at some point, having a conversation, you got a certain number of money, a certain threshold where it's cool. Yep. It's cool. But at some point, you're like, let me give a quick call. Hey, this is what's going on. And for him, Mr. Let Me Sit on It. Yeah.
You didn't sit on that.
You ain't
You didn't sit on that at all.
Yeah, Leia ain't get to sit on that one. So
You don't do the budget. I know you haven't opened the Google spreadsheet. So stop.
And you can see, because I can see if you opened it and if you've done anything in that sheet. So
you like, hey, babe, I said, I already saw the credit card alert. Snitching ass credit cards. Oh, I'm gonna kill you.
Because it was over a threshold, okay? That's why.
So we need to talk. If the credit card gonna tell me, you should have told me first.
I love it. So your gown. How did you find your gown?
Oh my goodness. I thought I knew how I wanted to look. I thought I knew how I wanted to look. I was home Thanksgiving. And so my mom was like, let's just go look around. And the goal was to try on different silhouettes just to see what looked good on my body. There was no pressure. Let's go out, be open, have fun. The first shop, of course, I went to the place where my mom bought her wedding dress, and we were super cute, like this excited nostalgia. They didn't have anything in there for me. Like, it just was not for thick girls at all. And it's like, I'm not even what they would deem a plus size bride, but I have a lot of junk in the trunk.
Yeah, you do. You got them curves.
So that was making it a little difficult to try on some dresses. We went to a couple different shops, and definitely like the second shop was where it was like nothing could fit over my butt, nothing. And the sales ladies were getting all anxious and I was like, what's going on? Just bring me some dresses, whatever can fit. We here now. Let's try on some dresses, make it fun. I mean, your body's amazing. I was like, girl, I know.
Yeah.
What I got over here. But that's what I tell all my friends and other brides or bride-to-be's. Work on you first, because wedding dress shopping will kill your ego. It will it will nudge at those insecurities. You have to love your body, love the skin you're in. You can't play that like, oh, I'm going to lose 10 pounds and da-da-da. No, get something that looks good on you right now, something that makes you feel like $1,000,000 today, and love that. Otherwise, it can be a really sucky time. But the third shop is where I found my wedding dress. It was nothing like I thought I would put on. I put it on, and I did not want to take it off. I cry about everything, y'all. Like, happy, mad, sad, frustrated. And I did not cry, so I was like, I don't know. But I just kept looking at myself, and I was just like, I am so beautiful. This is so beautiful. I feel so beautiful. And like, probably like 35, 40 minutes later, my mom was like, sweetie, you have to take the dress off. And I was like, I don't want to. I don't want to. But I couldn't say yes because I was in Elkhart, Indiana, y'all. That's the small hometown I'm from. I'm in Elkhart, Indiana. I have not even looked in Atlanta. There has to be something better out there. This dress, my dress was, what is my dress like? 19, 15. It was way under my budget. Nothing felt like, how is this? I didn't spend as much. I'm in Elkhart. It's like quinceañera dresses in the window. Like, this isn't how this is supposed to go. So we didn't say yes to the dress, but we took all my measurements. We planned everything out so that if I wanted to, I could call her and we could place the order from there. So all of that was good. We took all the measurements. And guys, that's when she told me, don't go to the I'm going to lose weight. She said that you can always bring a dress in, but you can't let it out that much. They don't have as much fabric in them as they used to.
Right.
So I had to order what would have been probably 2 sizes bigger to get over my butt. And then my seamstress took it all in at the waist and the upper part to make it look good. But you can't let it out enough. So you want to go up, not down. So we did that. We went shopping in Atlanta, found some beautiful dresses, but I kept talking about that one. And my mom and cousin was like, girl, that's your dress. What are we doing? Tried it on at a shop here, and it was the exact same feeling. That's when I cried when I was in a different shop because I knew that was my dress. I'm like, that's it. I found it. That's my dress. I put it on, and I felt so beautiful in it. So it was an easy thing. I didn't sit with it long. I didn't keep looking after I found it. It wasn't the let's go to 57 shops. I did 3 more here just to say I had done Atlanta, and that was it. And that was me the whole time. Flowers, cake. When I made a decision, I did not think about it anymore. It's wedding. They can do whatever you want. They will make it happen. So if you dream it or imagine it, just stop. You're going to drive yourself crazy. There's always other options. So.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it was fun.
And of course, so Terrence didn't know about that. He didn't see it. So
I asked him what he cared about. He said the back out with a V-neck will look nice.
Ooh, want the girls in that bag out. Okay.
But I knew that meant he didn't want me in a puffy Cinderella dress either. And I didn't either. But I wanted to feel sexy. I wanted to feel like a wife. I wanted to feel beautiful. And that's what we got. We got all of that.
Love it. Did you get caught up in all the, like, for a destination, it must look like XYZ?
The only thing I was worried about was it being hot. So a lot of brides are like friends and stuff that had told me once I told them I was doing a destination wedding, they kept being like, you need to get a certain kind of dress. It's too hot. It's too hot. You got to make sure it's light. And I at first was a little like, okay, is this too heavy? Is this too light? And was in my head about that. And that's why I'm glad we went to a couple shops and had that plan of just going in open, because then I started trying stuff on and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go with what feels good and what's beautiful. And that's what we're going to stick with. I didn't go subscribe to the whole, this isn't for a destination. Whatever made me look beautiful was what I was wearing, and whatever felt like, I knew that train was long and was going to be dirty and I didn't care. Same for my cathedral veil. Dirty, I didn't care. I knew that when I was coming down those steps and how he would see me, that was what I wanted. And forget all that other stuff. You're going to be hot because you're going to be dancing and you're getting married. You're going to be stressed out and sweating anyway. So get what makes you feel your most beautiful, because what you don't want to do is be fidgeting on your wedding day. Like, do this look right? Do this fit right? You want to feel good. So get all that.
Yes. Love it.
And I got that from you. Because you told me, don't do that whole, this isn't destination dress appropriate. Do what you like. And I remembered that and I heard that and was like, why am I listening to this other stuff? Like, stop it.
Yeah, no, that's the whole point. Like, the reality is, it's your wedding. So, and like you said, you're going to be hot wherever you are. If you anything like me, you sweat standing possibly, or just in general, like you're going to be hot or uncomfortable. It's not necessarily it's like the most comfortable, but the real comfort is knowing that you're beautiful, knowing that this is the right decision for you. So I'm glad and I'm happy to have had that. And that is a shout out to Shavita. Shavita made sure that we got them alterations too. She was making from that episode, said get them alterations right and make sure that your booty and your body is looking great. And you have a shot of that back. I'm gonna drop that shot right here. I'm gonna say it right now because I'm dropping that shot right here, where it's you guys together and it's that V that Terrence wanted and that booty was like and I'm like, yes, pow.
And I did like 10 dress fittings, y'all. It needed to fit. I wasn't playing the games. Like, this body got it gotta fit. And this is your one time. Yes. Don't play with that. Yes. Get the alterations and get it right. Yes. Get it right.
Believe it. Yes. I'm with that too. Hair and makeup.
Oh, this is where, oh my gosh, I was so glad I found you. Oh my goodness. Because I was like, you see, there's stuff out there, not a lot, but there's stuff out there about destination wedding planning. There is not a lot of stuff out there for Black brides. So what do we do?
There wasn't a lot of stuff out there.
There is way more now. Well, then I found you. And I found you, and then I also found some of the Facebook groups for destination brides, and the combination of those helped me a ton.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't have this only money. I can't be flying everybody out. So what we gonna do? What's most important? And it went back to, let's go down this list. What's important? My cousin was already coming, and she does an amazing job at doing hair. So, she came over. We did a couple of trials. So I'm like, boom, hair is done. I knew from this show that when you're outside, the wind can do whatever it's going to do, and you can't control that. You're in Mexico at this point. It could be hot. It could have rained that morning, whatever. So I knew I wanted my hair pulled back and just really big, but I wouldn't have to worry about it. So that was the easy thing on the hair. For makeup, I was like, what are we going to do? I found a couple that have been recommended in the Destination Brides Facebook groups. They have one for Dreams Brides. They have one for my resort and then one for Black Destination Brides. So I called or emailed with like 3 or 4 once I had narrowed it down. And I asked them, I need you to send me photos of Black brides that you have done. They didn't have a ton on their site, but they had a few. They sent me more photos and emails. And I was like, okay, they know what they're doing. Because you can see some that don't really know what they're doing with our skin tones. And I was not about to do that. Right. So I narrowed it down to 2. And one lady told me that it was going to take like 5 of them to do our makeup, and you have to pay for every single person to come on the resort at Dreams. So I was like, that's crazy. We're not doing that. The other lady says she can do all of our faces with just 3 of them. So that is what made the decision for me. Everything was beautiful. I sent them pictures of how we wanted it. And when they came in that day to the suite and did all the ladies' makeup, she was like, how do you feel? And I'm like, oh, I want more shine, or that's perfect. I was just like, enhance each lady's beauty on its own. It doesn't have to be uniform. Here's the base colors. And we went from there, and it was perfect. Oh, it was perfect.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
And so how many bridal party members did you have?
So we had 8 bridesmaids, 8 groomsmen. And then both of the moms got their faces done as well. So those were all part of my gift to do all the makeup. And, my mom's like, do they got menopause makeup? I was like, girl, everybody has a hot flash. Yes.
Yes, we are all collectively.
She doesn't wear much makeup. She was like, I don't want to look like I got a lot of makeup on. I was like, well, just talk to them. Let them know what y'all like and don't like. Just let them touch it. Give them a little bit. Because, we're going to be y'all in these beautiful dresses. We're all going to be done up. Do it. Let me take care of you. And so they gave in and did it.
I love it. Did you run into any other roadblocks as a Black Desti?
Other roadblocks as a Black? Not really. I think it was because I had done so much of the research. I felt like I kind of knew what to expect. Yeah. I felt like we were really, really, really prepared. Now one other thing goes to photography and videography. Make sure I also asked them for photos. My husband is dark skinned, and he was like, our wedding is at night. We need to make sure they know what they're doing. And I think it's a very, very valid thing. I'm sure you all have seen photos where it just doesn't hit quite correctly, or the flash and the retouches are too harsh. So I made sure that I did request, what Black weddings have you done? Can you please send me those photos? And they did. And Maya Revere, photography, videography, our stuff is beautiful. But I made sure I asked, show me, are you comfortable shooting darker skin tones? Are you comfortable shooting them at night? How do you edit them after? Is it, you know what I mean? And how are we bringing our lights? We have this, we have that. So that was another one. I think you have to ask way more questions, being a Black bride, to make sure they're good with that piece, and making sure you have enough lights for that. If you're outside, you can't just do one little thing of string lights. Nobody gonna be able to see y'all. So do they have extra lights? Do your DJs have extra lights? I think those were questions that, you have to ask as a Black bride.
Yes, that's good. I love that. And yes, you do have, shout out to the chocolate husbands out there. Okay. Now, we will jump into the wedding day, and I'm actually, so I appreciate your time. So we're gonna work this one through. Now, let's talk about the timeline leading up, if you don't mind. One of the questions that I asked in the town hall before I even started recording everything was, what can I add to the show? And the big thing was like, how did the timeline break down? So I just want to do a quick rundown of, we were engaged, and then how did we do this? So I'll work with you with it, but you were engaged June 2018.
Yes.
And then did you guys wait to start planning, or were you like, no, it's time, it's go time?
So it was a lot for my husband, so I had to ease him into the planning. I told him, look, we have to pick a destination. Good thing about a destination wedding is you make a lot of decisions up front, and with them. And so that was cool. So once we picked it and we picked the destination and we put down our deposit, we did take a break for a couple months.
Good.
Got through the holidays. We started fresh at the beginning of the following year.
Okay. So it was pretty much kind of game time. So you had made your decision sometime between August and November, I'd say, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then
we did let the bridal party know, though, in August.
Okay. When did you invite guests?
When did we invite guests? We sent out, all of that happened. So everyone that we talked to, we let them know we were having a destination wedding.
Okay.
So that people could start saving. This is what we're doing. So we sent out our save the dates around November-ish of that year because I wanted them to go out before the 1 year mark. So it was October that we sent save the dates. Okay. It was October we sent save the dates. So yes, June, and then we paid our deposit in July to make that decision. We talked to the bridal party so that they knew you have options. I told my girls, say no, be a good friend and not a bad bridesmaid. I would much rather you say, I can't do this, I can't afford this. Y'all know who I am and how I am. Say no if it's too much, and I get it. It's a true question. Asked them in August. So once we knew that that was all set up, then we alerted our guests. We sent save the dates in October, and then formal invitations went out the following year.
I love that. Okay. And then informal went out the following year. So you sent your invitations, formals went there. Around about when did you start thinking about your makeup, photographer, all of that good stuff?
Let me add one other thing, guys. When we sent the save the dates, the website was done. The packages were set so that everybody knew how much it would cost for them to go. That was important to me. A lot of our guests had not traveled outside of the country, so they knew they needed to get passports, how much they needed to save, payment plans, all of that. I wanted to give people as much time as possible.
Did you put
that all happened in 2018?
Did you put that website on your save the date so people knew where to go?
Yes. And all the information was there. Our travel agent's information, start working with her now, set up your payment plan so that part, nobody felt stressed. I wanted it to be seamless from everything was included in that price. Airport transfers, all of that. So you pay that and you get there and you're good. So yes, now photographers, videographers, things start moving a little quicker, like our date. We had our wedding on a Sunday because Saturday was taken. And y'all heard me say we made that decision over a year in advance. We had decided where we wanted to go and picked our date and everything long before that 1 year mark, and the Saturday was already taken. They only do 2 weddings a day. So we was like, it's a destination, we'll do Sunday, but that's how we ended up with Sunday. So then I was like, well, if that's the case, I better start playing with my photography, videography, all that stuff. So everything was done within the first quarter of 2019. Yep. So that January, February, March was when we kind of locked in almost everything.
I love it. Did you guys decide, when was the site visit?
The site visit was September. Site visit was beginning of September. And I was pretty decided. I was down to 2.
Okay.
I was down to 2. We knew and they was next door. So we could tell our wedding party, like, hey, it's going to be in Dreams. You're going to fly into Cancun. It's going to be in Playa Mujeres. Site visit was September, and we paid our deposit last week of September, early October, and already had all that stuff. You know what I mean? Because we knew we were just needed to pull the trigger. I knew what save the dates I wanted. We had started building the website, that kind of stuff.
So September 2018 is when their site visit was. You made the decision. What was the second resort?
Finest. Excellence and Finest are right there, but Finest was adults only.
Okay.
So, or no, that was the Excellence was adults only. Finest was the family one. They didn't offer any perks to get married there. That's how they got crossed off. So where Dreams, we got the kickback for the rooms.
Right.
So I was like, oh, we're bringing 100 people. Ain't no way y'all not giving me nothing.
Yeah.
So we'll see y'all on just a little couples trip because it's beautiful. Beautiful, but I wasn't here for the no benefits.
Yeah, you gotta give me something. And y'all brought a big party, so that's important. Okay, and then so we did that. We know, and I'll create.
Oh, you're good.
In that. So you found your gown when?
I found it Thanksgiving.
When did you pull the trigger?
Which wasn't the plan. I pulled the trigger. February was my deadline. Like, it can't go beyond February. So we had my parents came here then for Christmas. So we made the decision, right before Christmas, like the 23rd or the 22nd or something like that, right around Christmas.
Okay. And, packing, how did you guys pack? What's the deal with that?
We had a lot of stuff, guys. I always wanted candles. I always saw it as this romantic thing with just a bunch of candles. Once you see flowers prices, you're probably going to want candles too, because they are crazy how much they want to charge you for some flowers. But we brought a lot of stuff because we also had a lot of stuff. We had threw a big party for my dad, so we had a lot of vases and stuff like that already. And so we got those big plastic trunks from from Container Store.
Okay.
Check the dimensions, make sure that they were good with Delta. I called, here are the dimensions of this. Can we, check that we put the TSA locks on those and packed up our trunks. So we had a few of those trunks, and then I had old suitcases. So like my mama had one, Bridesmaids had one, my girls from work had one, and everybody, like, they would bring the stuff. What this was like decorations, welcome bag stuff, that kind of stuff. And then we knew we were going to throw those suitcases away because they truly were raggedy. And so I'm like, I can drop stuff off. What do you need? And that's how we kind of spread the love. And the things that mattered came with me. The things that, like, we can live without, if they don't make it, they don't make it. Those came with other people. Like, if we got less vases, I don't care. I'm not worried about that. We got candles to put on the tables. They also didn't let us have real candles outside. So we had to do LED candles. I was mad about that for about a week, but whatever. So we brought candles. We brought all of our decorations, but they put everything together. So we had all of that with packing. We flew first class because I had been saving our points so that we could do that. And so we each had 3 checked bags. So we had 3 checked bags each. One was golf clubs. Most of it was decor. We had 2 carry-ons as well. So we had all of that. When the Uber came to pick us up, he was like,
where y'all going? What is it?
I wish we would have just did private transportation and planned that from the house to the airport. If that's one thing I would have done differently, because we had to play Tetris that morning when it was supposed to be this beautiful, we're leaving for our wedding. And so, but yeah, so we had all that. We did one big suitcase that we packed together. Wedding dress and stuff was on with me on my person. We did not check those. The wedding attire was not checked. We carried that on. And the shoes and everything that we needed for that day, we had in our carry-on.
Okay.
Everything else, I didn't care.
Okay. That's awesome. Wow. So the trunks, the family brought the trunks. You guys had the suitcases.
Yeah, we had one trunk with us, but they had everything else because we had the big suitcases was like stuff like these things. We had, there's that guy.
Oh, I love those.
We got these from Save a Cup. This is Sticker Mule.
Okay.
But that took up almost 2 bags because we had 100 of those. Like little stuff like that. When you're thinking about your welcome bag, stuff seems cute, but it's hard to pack.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Sticker Mule. I'm into Sticker Mule too, so I just had to add a little note to that. And those are so cute. Did you guys design those, or you had?
No, somebody, the Instagram folks was like, you need a cartoon logo, and I was like, actually,
yes, I do.
And so we sent them pictures, and they made a fun one, and we thought it was fun, and our guests loved them. People still tag me in photos, like literally yesterday, like still drinking out of them, and it was perfect because they don't have straws. Save the turtles. There was no straws on the resort. Me and my mom knew that from the site visit. So she was like, whatever you do, straws gotta be in the welcome bag. So these cups were perfect. They're bigger than the cups. So they will fill up those cups, and everybody was just drinking out of their cups all weekend on the resort.
Oh, I love that. Yes. Okay. Now, it's time for the wedding day. So, we've made it. We made it. We know everything we need to know about this wedding day. So, can you tell me, how did you feel? First of all, did you guys share a room, or did you guys separate at that point? What did you decide to do there?
We separated. We have the most amazing best man. He did whatever I asked him to do. So I was like, hey, can you switch rooms and get a bigger room so Terrence can stay with you and they can get ready there? He was like, yes. How many days? I was like, just 2. He was like, yeah. So Terrence slept. When I told my husband we were separating, he thought when we woke up the day before we had to be separate, he was like, but how? I was like, no, baby. After rehearsal dinner, we separated. So we separated that night, and he stayed with his best man, and then my mom stayed with me.
Okay. And then, so you woke up.
Yes, I woke up. I thought I didn't know how I was going to feel. My whole thing was to be calm, and that was the whole a year of practicing calm. I have ulcerative colitis, so being stressed causes me to have a flare. Did not want to have a flare on my wedding day because then I would be bloated. I was still a little bloated, but whatever. So I wanted to be calm. Woke up, my sister was the first one there, and she was like, I just came early to see if you need anything. And she was like, so sweet, so calm. But I woke up, played a little music, and that morning I decided to transfer my vows written from my phone to the paper. Books. I wanted to have that moment where it was just me, nobody else around, kind of quiet, still. I could think through it. Wrote it down. I prayed. I had a little water. And so my sister came to get everything set up for makeup. And then I went to my parents' room for breakfast, to have breakfast with my parents. And her and the best man, it was like, I feel like Michelle Obama. There's like, she's leaving. Where is he? Can you not see her? Like, everything, like, okay, go now, call me when you're done eating. So I did that so that as they were getting in and getting ready, I didn't feel the chaos of the setup. I just wanted to try to stay away from the chaos. Right. Went back to my room a couple hours later. So like the first ladies had already been done. I had the makeup blocks. They had a full day schedule. Makeup started at 9 that morning. And so they had already been started on their makeup and all that good stuff. I came back, I started getting my hair done first. I let the ladies know, you don't have to stay here the whole time. Be here 15 minutes before your makeup slot and then go eat, go hang out. I don't want too much. I had a playlist. So that part was really, really calm. And then as soon as I got in the makeup chair, Terrence brought my gift. We said we weren't doing gifts, but he got me a gift anyways. I did have a cute little sexy shoot that I made a book for him, but I wasn't giving him that in front of his guys. So he got that on the honeymoon. But he sent the gift. I cried. Thank God I didn't have my makeup done yet. It was so beautiful. Sweet little poem, and it was on this plaque. It was really cute. So then we start the makeup. Knock, knock, knock. Here comes the wedding planner. So what I left out, guys, was that at like 10 o'clock it started raining. But it's Mexico. It had rained every day, only for like an hour, and it stopped. So I was like, it's cool. Like, God's just blessing my day. Everything gonna be good. The sun will be out. I had no doubt in my mind that everything was gonna be perfect. So then the wedding planner came in and was like, hi, I need you to make a call. It has not stopped raining. And I immediately started bawling. I had held it together all day, and all I could think about was like, since September 2018, all I dreamed about was him seeing me walking down the stairs into the Central Garden. I'm like, he's not going to get to see me walk down the stairs. So I had to like let go of that image. I mean, this was literally 60 seconds, maybe 90 seconds of me crying. And then I was like, okay, I'm good. The point of this is to get married. We are still going to get married. So do whatever you do, make it beautiful. Like my bridesmaids was over. They was praying. They was saying affirmations. It was super sweet about it. And they're like, she needs some champagne. Get her some champagne. And my mother-in-law, who doesn't drink, was like, I'll have some Moet with you, baby. And I was like, it's going to be a good day. So we called it. They said they were moving everything inside. My husband later told me that he was just so worried about me and how I was taking the news. And I was like, I had 90 seconds. And once I let it go, I said, we're going to do this. So we did that. All the ladies were done. I kicked them out and they went to the bridal suite because it was closer to the wedding location. So I like I said, I like the peace and the calm. If I'm getting too riled up or too much noise, I feel like then it's just, I wanted to keep that. So I sent all them away. Mom, mother-in-law, sister, and cousin. My cousin stayed because she had gone to all the fittings with me. She knew how to bustle, put on the dress, do all that kind of stuff because she's in Atlanta. So she stayed, and so they got me dressed, and then we went to the bridal suite. I did my bridesmaids reveal there. They had not seen my dress. So they got to see my dress. My dad got to see my dress. And y'all, my daddy was bawling. I was like, Dad, stop it. Stop it right now. I was like, what? Stop. So got him to stop crying. They had some snacks in there, but we were dressed and that was ready to go. And they was like, are you ready for your stairs? And I'm like, what? We moved everything inside. And they was like, well, we were able to salvage things. Only the reception is going to be inside. You can still have your ceremony outside. And I was like, why didn't anybody yes, I'm ready for my stairs. So I was like, why did that? So they stick me behind this wall. The ladies go, everything's going, and I'm trying to hear, y'all. They got lobby music playing, so I can't hear my music. And I'm like, what part they on? And everybody's like, you look so beautiful. I'm like, excuse me, could you tell me what's happening? Who's walking down the aisle? And they're like, you're beautiful, relax. It felt like I was back there forever. Finally, wedding planner, Marcella, she was amazing. She comes, she's like, it's time. I'm like, let's do this. I'm nervous, I'm shaking. I'm about to walk down 2 flights of stairs in front of 100 people, but it's the middle of the resort, so everybody can see me. I get to the top of the stairs. They played the wrong song. So I just stood there.
You like, nope.
I was like, that's what we're not doing. And she's like, what's happening? I'm like, that's the wrong song. She was like, but I said that ain't the song. Fix the song. I ain't moving. I didn't move. I just stood there. And the good thing is all my nerves went away in the midst of that song. The people was like, oh, this is dramatic. How long are you going to make them wait? Oh, this is not dramatic.
So they play my song.
So they literally almost played the entire father-daughter dance song. But whatever, they got it right. And the music switches. Now it's my song. I walked down the stairs and I felt like I was very like, what? To practice walking down the stairs in your shoes. I did that like 3 times. So I felt comfortable. But my husband was like, you were floating. It was beautiful. Walk down the stairs. I meet my dad at the bottom of the stairs. He crying again. I'm like, get it together. You gotta stop crying. We get to walking and my homegirl had told me, take it all in, plan a few stops. So like on the stairs, I stopped, I looked, and I just took it all in. All the beautiful faces, the scene. When I got to my dad and we like walked up to the garden, I stopped. And oh my gosh, that was the perfect. I can see it in my mind so clearly because I took a moment to breathe and see it all, and it was beautiful. I get in, my dad stops crying, only to see my husband now who is crying. So I'm like, I got to get to my baby. My daddy like, baby, you got to slow down. I was like, okay, I'm ready to run down the aisle now to get to my honey because he crying. He don't cry. He told me for 2 years he wasn't going to cry. Don't expect, like, set your expectations. I don't want you to be upset. I'm probably not going to cry. Y'all, it's a picture in there of him crocodile tears that the photographer got. If you don't have it, let me know. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
So I get to my husband. He's crying. And I'm like, oh, and I get to him. We do the handoff. And I'm like, baby, you look so nice. He's like, you too. And so we laughed. And then everything was perfect. It was just a beautiful breeze. There wasn't a lot going on. The ceremony then went off without a hitch. Everything was amazing. One of my bridesmaids did pass out, but I didn't know. Yes, I didn't know. I was seeing, like, all I could see was him. And there was a couple times, because remember I told you guys I had the cathedral veil. Mm-hmm. The wind was like, on it. And I had to like hold my neck tight and move it back so it wasn't catching the wind. And everybody's like, oh shoot, she sees it. But I didn't. I was just into everything because it was during the vows. So Terrence was saying his vows and all this commotion is going on. Thank God I didn't see it because I don't even know.
What happened? Heat?
I guess. I mean, we know now she was pregnant. She didn't know she was pregnant. So they're thinking all of this plays a part in everything. I don't even know. Okay. I'm just like, whew. But we can laugh now. But I didn't find out about that till like late into the reception.
Good. Yeah.
So all this is perfect. We walked. So it was a little muddy. There was like one of the photographers was like, I don't know if she should do this. A videographer, some guy I hadn't met, like her dress is in the dirt. I was like, who is that? Tell him to go. Tell him to buy. Don't nobody want his opinion. Like, stop bringing negative energy into here. What are you saying? So my girls was like, get him out of here. But yes, it was a little muddy, but it was perfect. Like everything was perfect. We walked back down. Life was good. And then we did our, photos, and then I had a schedule for the photos, make sure we went through them. Everybody knew who was on deck. It was hot. Like, we get these done and get out of here. Then we did our newlywed photos and things were able to kind of slow down. Cocktail hour so the wedding was at 4. And so cocktail hour was at 5:15. So we had them make an announcement for people to like go change your shoes, get comfy, like get ready to kick it and turn up and all that kind of stuff, and then make their way over to cocktail hour, which was in another spot outside next to it. I didn't see cocktail hour. I don't know. I heard it was beautiful. I didn't see none of it. Don't know nothing that happened over there. Then we went to the reception, which was moved inside. And in retrospect, I'm very thankful for the AC. It also ended up raining more that night. So we would have had to cut things short had we not been inside. So I had not seen the ballroom. I didn't want it in the ballroom because it didn't have any windows. And I was like, I don't want this. It's weird. We should be seeing that. It was beautiful. It was perfect. We had so much fun. We were able to go later into the night because we had the reception indoors. So we started with the DJ that they have because he did like the announcements and everything. Our groomsman was also the DJ, but I wanted him to feel like a groomsman. But Terrence was like, he got to do the music. He gonna get the party right. Like, that's who we need. So he did everything, and then they switched off after the sorority and fraternity serenades. Then they switched off. I didn't do the bouquet toss or the garter toss because I didn't want to. That was enough. Do what you want to do. It's your day. I was like, we already got them sitting through these serenades. We already like, for what? I don't want to do it. We didn't do it. And I didn't miss it, and it was fine.
Shout out to your sorors.
Skinny ladies. No, I am a lady of Alpha Phi Alpha. My husband is Alpha Phi Alpha. I am a lady of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So we had the K's, we had the Alphas, and we had a good old time. Okay. Really, really good time. So that went through, that was good. And then it was like the time flew. So I'm like, Marcella, we need to extend the reception. And she was like, oh, I don't know if I can. And I'm like, babe, talk to her, extend it. So we extended it. We paid the money to get it for another hour, and we kicked it. And it was so much fun. Like, literally, was scrubbing the ground in my wedding dress. It was a good time. It was fun.
You were scrubbing the ground.
I was on my knees. I was like, oh my gosh, my in-laws are probably like, what is happening?
Scrub the ground. Okay.
Who I am today. We had a really, really, like, the dance floor was popping the whole night. It was so fun. So it was a good day. It was ups and downs, but overall the theme was calm. The theme was love and a good time. And I knew how I wanted it to feel, so I didn't care how it looked. I was going for a feeling, and I think that saved me. Had I had a vision, I probably would have been a little more upset because everything was not perfect to the vision. Everything looked amazing, but it wasn't exactly how I planned it. But everything felt how I wanted it to feel. So
I love that about how you feel. Okay, so yay! So we did that.
Yes.
It is awesome. I can't wait. Yes, you guys, Destiland will have the blog post with the photos and the video and the links and all of that good stuff. So I'm so excited. I'm so happy to hear this. One more question. Actually, it's two more questions. Okay. So what was the best and the worst thing about planning a destination wedding?
I've been thinking about this since we first talked and you sent over the stuff. Let me see. I think that the best thing and the worst thing about planning a destination wedding was planning a destination wedding. And I know that's kind of a cop-out, but you have to consciously decide that you're going to let go of things being perfect because you can't see it, you can't feel it, you can't touch it all. And so I think it's important to figure out what's important to you and focus on those things. I think the best thing that we did was we made a plan and then I let them have it. Like, I don't want my family to be putting together stuff and decorating and all. I wanted everybody to feel like they were being celebrated and loved on all day and just relaxing. So in the beginning, it was a little hard because I couldn't be there to see, touch, feel when you're deciding on all these things, your dance floor, your flowers, all this other stuff. You can't see it. You just see pictures. They did an amazing job. Everything looks gorgeous, but that can be a little tough. We did get to do like food tastings and all that stuff on the site visits, but I know a lot of brides don't do that. So me being the planner I am, everybody was shocked that I, did a destination wedding and was so calm. But I knew in the beginning, like, hey, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be perfect for us and nobody's going to notice. And that was my husband's influence, like frosted versus clear. Don't nobody know, girl. It's going to be bomb. We in Mexico. So remember that you're at this beautiful, beautiful location. Don't stress the details. But I think that was the hardest part about planning a destination wedding. These people aren't here. And you can't run a Target if you forget something. You got to make it work. Call somebody, see if somebody with you has it. But like, that's why I have my checklist, and you just got to make it work with what you have. So that's the hardest part about a destination. But also the best part is we're in a destination. It was bomb. We got to spend 3 to 4 days with all the people you love the most. Never will all the people you both love the most be together again on that scale. Everybody was there to celebrate us and to celebrate love. And I would do it again 10 times over with those people not planning the wedding. They're all like, for the anniversary. I'm like, we can all take a trip. I'm not planning it. Call Carrie, the travel agent, and we can work it out. But that was the best part. We got to hang out with everybody. Like, so at the reception, when I was like, oh, this is my jam, I didn't feel bad. I already talked to you. I know how your kid's doing. I know how work is going. I'm kicking it. And we wouldn't have been able to do that if we just had a regular wedding. So, or traditional. So, yeah.
Yes. Okay. And how would you define a bride friend?
Oh, I think a bride friend is one, somebody who is aware of the experience. They kind of get that this is important. They get that this is a big deal, but they get you, so they know what you need. I think you need people around you that are going to give you perspective, that are going to remind you what's important, who's important, to keep you grounded, but that are also going to fight to make things how you want them. Like, my friends and my bridesmaids did not play. Like, I didn't have to speak. I didn't have to talk. I thought they were going to physically take the wedding planner out of my room when she came in there. That's how they swooped in. I had to be like, whoa, y'all, this was in the contract. I knew this was going to happen. Because they were like, how dare you come ask her this right now? What's wrong with you? I was like, y'all. So no issue got to me. Nothing got to me because the people around me, those bride friends, knew me so well that they made sure I was insulated so I could keep my peace. And they knew how important details and everything around me was. So that's a bride friend.
That's a bride friend. Yes, it is. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. This was a dream. I had to talk to people so that I wouldn't fangirl when I got on here, because I'm obsessed with you. You helped me so much. This is so amazing. You're so.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm so glad you are why I do what I do. Like, this is exactly what I've always wanted, how I envisioned this from starting the first episode, reaching out to the first bride to just ask, are you willing? So now to know that you received the help that you needed for yours and the support that you needed, and now you're on and you're giving it all to us, like, that just means the world to me. So thank you. I'm not going to have a moment.
Thank you. This was a dream. Yes, this was a dream. It was a dream. Thank you so much.